fans, friends and family clapped and cheered as a bronze statue of Timperley's favourite son, musician and comic Frank Sidebottom, was unveiled. Fans of the comic, some dressed as Frank Sidebottom, real name Chris Seavey, spent 3 years raising the money for a full-size statue which was cast in the Czech Republic. Chris sadly died of cancer in 2010 and is fondly remembered by those attending the event. Said to have a shed in his mother's back garden where he broadcast with his other creation, Mrs. Merton, Radio Timperley, and his TV show, Frank's Fantastic Shed Show, for ITV. He also toured the UK in a band called The Freshies. Before the unveiling, let's go back to August 2008, when Chris, as Frank Sidebottom, appeared with our very own WFM presenter, Sandra Shufflebottom.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Guess who I've got sat here in front of me? The one and only Frank Sidebottom. Hello,
guess
Frank.
who I've got sat in front of me? The one and only fantastic Sandra. That's good, isn't it?
Oh,
hello,
brilliant.
listeners. Frank Sidebottom here. Are you listening? If you're not listening, turn your radio on now.
Oh, do you hear that? Turn
it
your radio
on now.
Now, turn it on at level 42.
Oh, turn it on now. Turn it on. Turn it on now. You know you should. You really should.
Oh, brilliant. Are you going to do some more tunes for us in a bit?
Not at all, actually. I just brought it for doing that. Turn it on now, jingle.
Oh, right,
I'm
okay.
joking, because Sandra is really fantastic. Yes, she has a really fabulous show. Tune in every day, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. It's on the radio, because you know that Sandra is fantastic in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
And Sandra is fantastic in the evening. But Sandra is most fantastic in the afternoon. Oh yes, you know Sandra is fantastic in the morning, and Sandra is fantastic in the evening. But Sandra is more fantastic in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, Sandra is really fantastic.
I
You know she is. She really is. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Frank. So
what are you up to?
what am I up to?
Yeah.
I'm busy sitting here playing records.
And what are you doing over the weekend?
Seeing as last weekend I was at Pride and I just killed me body with dancing.
Oh yeah.
I never stopped dancing.
Can you dance now for me? Not for me, for the listeners. Let's have some dance music. Here we go. She's dancing in the studio.
And I am.
She's dancing in the studio. She's dancing in the studio. And she's clapping as well. You know she is, she really is dancing in the studio and clapping as well. Thank you.
So how long has Frank Sidebottom been going?
Right, well, I was born at 6:05, actually. I remember because I looked at the clock and I thought, I need a watch. And I looked at my wrist and there wasn't one, so I thought, right, I'm going to get one. I've still not got one, actually. But 35 years later, I'm in show business.
You don't look 35.
Oh, thank you, madam. What do I look? 34? That's very complimentary, thank you.
I would have thought
well,
about
it's very
24.
smooth hair. I gel it down with Brill cream. Heavy duty, obviously.
Yeah.
It's very black. Like Paul McCartney.
Very much so.
Yeah,
Very
I
much
look
so.
like Paul McCartney, don't I? Oh,
You have got, yeah.
of Kintyre, the mist is on the golf course, and I'm late for my tea, 'cause I've just nipped out to buy a new LP by Paul McCartney. I'm thinking of doing that for little Frank, because I've got
where is he,
one of
by
his...
the way? Where is
I
it?
didn't bring him, because it's only radio. I do his voice anyway. I can do it.
Yeah.
I can pretend he's here if you want.
No, I'd soon have you, Frank.
All right, thank you very much, madam. That is fantastic. Have you heard that, listeners? She would rather have me than little Frank. Can I have that in writing?
Of course you can.
And can we have a tape of that so I can put it on MySpace and everyone can hear that you like me better than little Frank?
Of course you can.
Fantastic.
I'll gladly do you a burn. I want to know all about Frank. What you're doing these days. You got a television television show.
Okay, listen.
Got to turn it down a touch. Turn it down. Bit Steely Dan there, isn't it?
We're going to tell you all about Frank now. He lives in Timperley, and little Frank's not even got a house in the northern quarter. Oh, I've got hotels on everything in Timperley, Sale, Brooklands, Bagley, everywhere. And he's not even got a light blue one, which is new or green. Oh, Sandra from New All Green. I've been there on my bicycle, actually. Well, it's not my bicycle, it's my mum's bicycle. It's fantastic. Have you seen it? But the back wheel has got a flat tyre.
That's no good.
Have you got a bicycle, Sandra?
And I drive, Frank.
She drives with flat tyres on the back of your car.
No, there's no flat tyres.
And the back tyres are pumped up.
Well, yeah.
You know they are. They really are. Thank you. It's Sandra's show. If I was going to have a tattoo, and then
Did you go to the pub instead?
I don't go. Well, I go to the pub now and again for a half a shandy.
Yeah.
Have you seen that shandy? It's like pop and beer.
Yeah.
If you have two of them, you can fall over.
I'm not much of it. If I drink Guinness.
I had a sherry once at Christmas, right? And I didn't even drink it. It touched my lips. I fell over. And I ended up back here in Wythenshawe Hospital. I missed Boxing Day and Return of the Jedi on the telly.
Oh, no way.
What are you doing at Christmas? Because the adverts are on already.
Do you like Christmas? Well, you'll love Christmas.
Oh.
You're busy making money at Christmas. There we go.
Christmas is really fantastic. It's a really fabulous time. And I'll come back on, actually. Can I come back at Christmas?
Of course you can.
Because Christmas is really fine. Don't you know? Christmas is fantastic in the morning. And Christmas is fantastic in the evening. But Christmas is most fantastic in the afternoon. Oh yes, it's Frank Sidebottom on Sandra's show on WFM. I'll be back at Christmas. That's good. Get your Christmas wrapping paper up and buy Sandra a Christmas present, because Christmas is really fantastic. But Sandra's show is really better. And if you want to send her something, what rhymes with it? Wetter. That's all that rhymes with that, isn't it? Oh, Christmas is really fantastic. Oh, you know it is.
Anyway. Oh, no.
We love everybody on the whole planet, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Neil Taylor from the Frank Sidebottom Statue Committee.
Well, we've got a big crowd here today for the unveiling of Frank Sidebottom's statue. Can you tell me a little story behind the statue?
Sure. The man behind the Frank Sidebottom mask was a guy called Chris Seavey. He kept the two characters very, very separate, so he had Chris Seavey and Frank Sidebottom. Sadly, Chris died of cancer in 2010, so a group of fans got together and we said, let's try and get a tribute to Frank's a cult figure. Rich and famous people get statues, politicians get statues, why not Frank Sidebottom? So a 3-year journey of collecting funds, doing fundraisers and lots of other activities took place. Managed to raise over £20,000, and from there the Frank Sidebottom statue was commissioned in the Czech Republic, cast, painted, shipped over. And the other great thing about this is we're supporting Marie Curie as being our chosen cancer, and later on today we're going to be giving £1,137 to Marie Curie. The Frank Sidebottom Shed Show, well known for the fans and everything, and one very special thing today as part of this, we've actually got the famous Frank Sidebottom shed that appeared in the Shed show is going to be part of the actual unveiling ceremony that we're going to be doing. If Chris was alive and this was actually happening, he would be stood in the audience because nobody knows what he looked like. And he often did this in real life, would go in the audience and he would be laughing his socks off. He'd find it hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
Other comedians had statues done, like Morecambe and Wise, and I think Les Dawson.
I'm not too sure about that. I know the most similar one that's out there's a Ken Dodd one in Lime Street Station, because the other special thing with this, it's at street level, so people will actually be able to come, go up and have a photograph taken with it, and it's got a full colour bronze head as well, so it's actually going to be absolutely striking when it's done, so brilliant.
Perhaps you could tell me about the pose he's done.
Yeah, I mean, this is quite magical. My son, when he was younger, actually thought Frank Sidebottom was real. My son was convinced Frank Sidebottom was a real person, and we took a photograph at the Timpley Country Fair a few years ago of my son with Frank's arm around him. We were looking at what sort of statue to do and what sort of pose to do, and it was actually the pose taken with my son, so it's actually an exact reproduction from that pose.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting very near to the big moment. I can tell you I've seen some dignitaries walk back away. Oh, just like 74.
It's exactly 11:37, and I like to say, dong, dong, dong. We ain't got a bell, so you've got me. Anyway, and wow, everybody, Timpley, wow, you're fantastic. I'm very much an Altrincham person, in an Altrincham born, Timpley bred. I'm here, and great to see you all. Well, Frank Sidebottom, what a character, who sadly left us aged 35 in 2010. Great sad day for all of us. And he was helped by so many of his puppet friends who certainly put Timpley on the map. And it's great to see so many people from far and wide have come here to join us for this very special occasion. During this occasion, please remember we are collecting for Marie Curie, so please dig deeply for this very worthy cause. One thing I'm going to tell you all, please listen very carefully. Please, please do not let Frank's mom know about this. And well, and so all else, that this shed, it's no longer in a back garden, so please just keep it to yourselves. And in words from Frank Sidebottom, as long as I gaze on the tipsy sunset, I am in paradise. Which I think we all are, I'm supposed to say. I'd now like to pass on to the Mayor of Trafford, the Councillor Dylan Butt, who'd like to say a few words too. Thank you very much.
It is an absolute pleasure to be here commemorating Frank Sidebottom and his statue for future memories of people who perhaps didn't meet him but certainly heard about him and will be on record. He has been quite a character that's put Timpley on the map, and this statue will go towards keeping him on there. I'd like to say thanks to the organisers, Neil Taylor, and also the bank.
Thank you everybody. Thank you for the support, and to the first instance of Trafford, Councillor Dylan Butt. Thank you guys ever so much for turning up on a Sunday morning. Well, Timpley, here we are. That's a milestone. A 3-year journey's gone into this. I just want to remind everybody that there is a sad story behind it. The man behind the mask, Chris Stevie, who sadly died of cancer back in 2010. There's already been mentioned there are some collection buckets for Marie Curie going about. Please dig deep on it all. Talking of Marie Curie, I'm going to give them a cheque for £1,137. £11.37. I've got Carol Minton, who I'm going to present it to. I'm looking over from the Czech Republic, Polina, who's a sculpturist. Give her a round of applause. So, as this is unveiled, you'll see Paulina's statue. When you get a chance, go close up. Little secret she didn't tell me, look behind Frank's ear. I spotted it. Thank you, Paulina. So the idea of a Frank Sidebottom bronze statue came about after the demise of Chris Seavey. 3 years of fundraising. There's too many people for me to actually personally say thank you to. Some of them you see in front of you now who've performed at concerts and gigs. Fans have donated money, they've bought merchandise. It's been absolutely amazing. The first debut, brass band, let the ceremony commence! Everybody, I'd like you to welcome the CV family who are going to be doing the unveiling. CV family.
Dirty old canal always keeps flowing through Timpley to Manchester. Whenever I travel, I go by train on a train track to get me there. 'Cause I don't have a barge or a boat or a car, but as long as I gaze on a Timpley sunset, I am in paradise. Every day I look out of my bedroom window. I see my shirts on the washing line. A Timberley sunset fine. A little black bits little beneath a Timberley station. Every afternoon. They made of cardboard, but they're so much in love that they hope to marry soon. But they don't have a marriage license. But as long as they gaze on a Timberley sunset, so they are in paradise. Every night I look out of my bedroom window. I see the station and the railway line. A Timberley sunset fine. Here's Emma and Roger are leaving the train at a Timberley station. The rest of them stay on, continue to OT or to navigation. A Timberley sunset fine.
Sterling CV.
You must have mixed emotions today. Could you tell me a little bit what led up to the statue?
Obviously, after he passed away, it was mentioned about making a statue, but I thought it was more of a sort of a pipe dream and wishful thinking. But to see all the hard work that's gone in, and for it finally to be here, it's quite an amazing achievement, really.
So, what's your thoughts today? The big crowd and everything.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, he wouldn't believe that he'd have got such a big pull and something like this would be able to be achievable. But to see, I'd say, all the response and the amount of people that have put money in and that have turned up just shows how much he was thought of.
What do you think if he was here today?
He'd be chuffed to bits, I think. Yeah, just I'd say like the amount of people, the road closure, all this fuss just over paper mache.
That's great. Perhaps you could tell me a little bit about the man behind the mask.
To say he was always fun, always joking, never took life too seriously, and I think that just shows like the people that are turning up today wearing masks and dressing up, and I think that's what it was all about. about. Just live life to the most and enjoy it while you're here.
I'm Damon, otherwise known as Badly Drawn Boy, recording artist. When I was growing up in the 80s as a teenager, I was a big fan of Frank Sidebottom, Simply Radio. A friend of mine used to tape all of his radio shows, and I had like a stack of cassettes with Frank singing cover versions of Born in the USA, but he changed it to Born in Simply, and I just found him hilarious. And ironically, because of my own success as a musician, I ended up befriending Chris, or Frank. I never know what to call him. He had 2 phone numbers, and one of them he'd answer as Chris, or if you call the other one, he'd answer as Frank, like, hello, it's Frank. Or he'd answer as Chris, a completely different person. He put a note through my door. I don't know how he knew where I lived, or he must have known somebody that knew me, and there was a note on my doormat one morning. I saw it and I recognised the handwriting because I had a lot of Frank Sidebottom's records, and he had quite distinctive handwriting, like quite childish, kind of cartoony handwriting. So I knew it was him. I was like, what's that doing there? And he said, Damon, I believe you're doing the Manchester Beat Cancer gig. So this is like several years ago, the first Manchester Beat Cancer gig at MEN Arena. And he said, could I have the honour of sweeping the stage before you walk on? And he left the number. I called the number and I said, is this for real? Are you really Frank? And it was. I met him at the sound check at the MEN Arena, and I'd never seen him without his papier-mâché head on, so I didn't know what he looked like, and introduced himself. Then he put his head on and he became Frank, and he swept the stage as he promised. So that was my first meeting, so I was dead honoured he did that for me. And then over the following years I worked with him a couple of times, and I can't say I became a really close friend, but I was just glad to make his acquaintance, and I got to know his family. I've done a few tribute gigs in the last few years since he died and stuff, and I came today because I just wanted to show my face and be here to honour this statue. I'm so glad it's happened because it was talked about, and these things sometimes don't happen, and it's amazing as well. And look at it, there's still a crowd of people. Over 2 hours after the unveiling, there's still about 200 people still stood around the statue. I mean, that's amazing. I'm so chuffed for him. It's a shame he's not here, but brilliant that people are showing so much respect. And I love the guy, funniest guy I ever met. I was a fan, and then when I met him, he made me laugh. I've never laughed so much in my life.
One last thing, what do you think Frank would say if he was here today?
He'd go, blimey, well, whatever I achieved, there's a statue of me on the street in Timperley. Yo, he championed Timperley, of all places. Timperley, what a stupid name, but a great name. And Frank was all about Timperley, so if he was here now, he'd be like, I achieved that. There's a statue of me stood on the streets where I grew up, where I lived. What better honour could anyone ever have? He'd probably be gobsmacked. I would be if it happened for me. And so I'm just so chuffed for him, because he'd be like, wow, how amazing is that? I made a mark on the world. That's all you can ever do.
Dave Spence.
Tell me who you brought along today.
This is Little Frank's. I actually won him at the Frank Fest, so it's an original. It's made by Chris Civvy, and I made his costume, so it's supposed to replicate the Frank statue, bronze.
So, were you friends with Frank?
No, I went to see him once though, but I never met him.
So obviously you're a big fan.
Yeah, I loved it. We went to see him with him and John Cooper Clarke were playing in Manchester, and it was just the funniest evening. Really fantastic. I've got all his DVDs, all his music, so yeah.
What's your thoughts today about with the
it's a great thing, isn't it? It's great. I wonder what they'll think in 100 years' time when people look at the statue.
My name's Damien Baker. I'm down here this morning with my partner Sharon. We're both from Flintshire, North Wales.
Can you describe me who you've come as?
I've come with Frank Sidebottom today with a big mask I've made out of papier-mâché and paint.
It's brilliant. Can you tell me about why you like Frank Sidebottom?
I first seen Frank Sidebottom when he co-presented a video with the NME magazine called Carry On Disarming, and I've been a fan ever since, so I thought I'd come down today and support this good cause, which is a statue, and it's raising some good money for charity as well.
I see you got football shirts with Sidebottom on, so obviously you were friends with Chris, were you?
Yeah, we used to play for the football team. The team's still going actually, but we don't know lost contact with it. It was a few years ago. We was here like the original team, it started it off. But yeah, I knew Frank very well. We used to go to the Isle of Man every year. About 12 years we did it, didn't we?
More years than I did, but yes, we had some good times in the Isle of Man.
We used to have a tournament over there with his mate Marty, who owns a brewery over there. We had some good times, real good times.
What's your thought to, having a statue here in Timperley?
I think it's excellent because he sort of like put Timperley on the map, so to speak, didn't he? So whether you liked his humour or you didn't, he was a great man, good lad. We used to have some good times.
I'm Raz from the Isle of Man, and I used to organise the Bushies football team against the Timperley Big Shorts. I met Chris in Liverpool at one of his gigs, and we got talking about music and about football, and he said that he's got a football team, same as I, said that, our pub did, and we organised the Timperley Manx Cup, which in fact was a biscuit tin with crumbs in it, and a bars on top, painted gold. So like in cricket you play for the Ashes, we used to play for the crumbs.
What's your favourite memories of Chris?
We used to have a fair amount of lock-ins in both Bushies and the Rovers return in the Isle of Man, having Beatles question and answers, trying to catch each other out, because I used to be a big Beatles fan as well. The more the alcohol goes down, the more obscure things were starting to get. There was things like that.
I believe that Chris and his band went down to Apple in London, the Beatles outfit, and demanded to see one of the Beatles and sat in and then eventually did a recording. Can you tell me a bit about that?
I think it was George Harrison that eventually caved in. You know, it's sort of a bit of a protest, because I think it was himself and Martin that travelled down, and they were only kids back in the days of the Apple trying to start loads of different bands and stuff up, and persistence paid off. Did actually make a demo with Apple, but I don't know if anything ever came of it.
Can you tell me about what you're wearing today?
Right, well, I've got my Frank Sidebottom head, of course. Marmite T-shirts, exclusively made. Nothing to do with Frank, it's just because I'm a Marmite fan. Me and this gent here, Les, we did a song about Frank, which, I don't know if you heard it, we helped it to raise the money with it, and it was called Let's Get a Statue for Frank, and we've updated that, and we'll be playing that at the Stonemasons after. So this is Chonkin Les, and my name is Barry Barmcake. So we'll be playing a little bit later on and celebrating Frank, of course, and long time in the coming, but great to see it.
So what's your favourite memory of Chris?
Best one for me, I think I'm going back to about 1987 when he played in Wigan. I've seen him, well, I know he's played loads of times, but a couple of times I've seen it, one with a full band doing all that, Hey Little Frank instead of Hey Joe and all this sort of stuff. It's one-man show with a Tizer puppet, and just brilliant stuff, just watching, so versatile, you know, you've got one man, few props, some people say, and I think that's why it's like Marmite to me, you know, because I've known people say, I can't stand him, but I think I've met more people who think he's brilliant than who don't like him. He's a very talented chap. He's been a fan for years. Big influence on me as well, because I do all my songs, they're Wigan based, but because I don't live in Timperley, so he did all the Timperley stuff, I do all the Wigan stuff. I know he can't do me for copyright, because mine's all ukulele. I pick up a keyboard and start doing that then, that's it, but a lot of respect for him, a major influence on me.
Yeah, well, I'm Steve Sullivan, and I'm directing a feature-length documentary about Chris Seavey's life and his art, and it's called Being Frank, the Chris Seavey story.
Would this be the highlight of the film?
This is certainly going to be the major set piece at the end of it, yeah, when the public kind of come together with Frank and, you know, just see that Chris's legacy is going to last forever. And I think that's what the statue really stands for.
Perhaps you could tell me a bit about the story of what you've been filming.
Well, we've been filming for a few months now, and basically what we're doing is we've actually crowd-funded a feature-length documentary and basically asked Frank and Chris's fans to contribute financially and also the skills and the time to actually make, you know, a professional feature film. And so that's what's happened. Thousands of people have come together and either pre-ordered the film either as a DVD or a Blu-ray or a digital download, or they've donated their services. And, you know, some incredibly professional people who have just gone, we're going to help you make this, and it's important that it's made properly. So yeah, it is a real crowd effort.
So when can we expect to see this?
Hopefully Being Frank, the Chris Seavey story is going to be finished next summer, so summer 2014. But if anybody wants to actually make sure they can see it, they can order their own copy of it from the website, which is www.beingfrankmovie.com.
That's great, thank you very much.
Dirty old canal always keeps flowing through Timperley to Manchester. Whenever I travel, I go by train on a train track to get me there. 'Cause I don't have a barge or a boat or a car, but as long as I gaze on a Timperley sunset, I am in paradise. Every day I look out of my bedroom window, I see the shirts on the washing line. A Timperley sunset's fine, sunset's fine. Little Frank meets little Denise at Timperley station every afternoon. They made a combo, but they're so much in love that they hope to marry soon. But they don't have a marriage license. But as long as they gaze on a Timperley sunset, they are in paradise. Every night I look out of my bedroom window, see the station and the railway line, and Timperley sunset.
continue to OT or to navigation. A symbolic sunsets, 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 a symbolic sunsets. You know it is, it really is. Thank you.
Frank's statue will always be watching the sunset over Timperley forever. To find out more about Frank Sidebottom, log on to www.franksidebottom.org.uk.